Our favorite harbinger of spring here at Fruition Seeds is planting peas. First thing in spring, as soon as the snows melt, we plant our peas. That's when we also plant arugula, spinach, radishes, but the peas are my personal favorite. And here's the thing, people often ask me, well, dwarf, full size, which should I choose? Do both. Because if you want to eat peas, plant both of them. You'll plant them both same day, same time, and you'll be harvesting them for twice the window you would plant if you had only planted one. So you plant the dwarf peas, and they're only going to get 2 feet tall. The trellising is actually optional. As you can see by our sticks, you can be fairly loose about it, fairly creative about it. I highly encourage the creativity part. And you'll be eating peas in 5-6 weeks. You'll be eating them for about a month, and then when they taper off, then your full-size peas that are going to be 5.5 feet tall, that's when those peas fully come on. So just as you eat the last of your dwarf peas, that's when your full-size peas come into their own. And so instead of eating peas for 4 weeks, you're eating peas for 8-9 weeks. So don't choose. This isn't an either or situation. You want both the dwarf and the full-size pea. And take a look at this trellis. It's just a piece of a T-post with a bunch of just some old chicken wire, and I've wrapped the chicken wire around the post a bit. I've also just taken some baling twine and tied it up, and the peas will find their way up. You want to be sure that it's fairly robust. 5-foot peas are kind of a weighty scenario, so you want to be sure to give it not just a few sticks, otherwise they'll be toppling over. And also with peas, you can plant them twice in the year. You can plant them, of course, first thing in the spring as soon as the snows melt, all the way through early May here in the Northeast. But you can also plant them again in August, in mid-late August, and I highly recommend that you do. And choose these dwarf varieties. They're just earlier maturing. And here's the thing, they'll be maturing into the cold. And when peas mature into the cold, they're sweet and they're tender, like no pea you've ever had before. Peas, when you plant them in the spring, are maturing in the heat. They're still totally delicious. That's why I do it every year. But they're maturing into the heat, so they're going to be a little less sweet, a little more fibrous. All of those long fibers are just going to be more tenacious. But if you plant them in the fall and they're maturing into the cold, all of those long carbohydrate chains turn their starches into sugars as defense for the cold. So that means you get even sweeter, even more tender peas. So yes, happy spring. Plant your peas. You'll know it's summer when you're first eating them. And then toward the end of summer, tuck them back in, and you will be happy all fall that you did.